Hello world! I'm yours Bunny and I'm here to welcome you to what I bought this week, which is The Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing, a indie game by Neocore from King Arthur and Crusaders fame, available on Steam for 15 bucks or your regional equivalent. It was released on May 22nd, 2013. Right. So, you will first of all notice the change in format. We're not gonna bother with the whole let's look at the menu for 5 minutes and then do a little bit of gameplay. No, no, no. Never mind that bit. You will also be struck by the fact that this is essentially Let me try that again. This is essentially a Diablo clone, or a Torchlight clone, probably closer to truth, as you have a companion with you as well that has skills and talents and needs health and stuff. This game is set in Bram Stoker's Dracula setting, or rather it's inspired by it, and you play as the son of Van Helsing. The one thing that you missed from the game creation, or the character creation, is the fact that you don't have many choices. There's only one character and there are no classes. You play as all classes, you have ranged, you have magic, and you have melee. I personally play as a melee right now because I tried ranged and then I died horribly. So, in the game, let's have a little taste of the voice acting first of all.
Stop it, Hunter! You are fighting the wrong enemy!
Really? You almost ripped out my heart.
I was defending my pack. Instincts. You know how it goes.
And your prisoner?
We tried to save him. He was injured, so we took him in.
Saved him? From who?
The machine men from the city. They hunt us down to experiment on us. Take this man and go!
I appreciate that. I'll leave you in peace.
My word! That was an incredible rescue, Hunter.
And an entirely pointless one, so it seems.
Don't say that. Good deeds are never pointless.
Which means that you'll answer my questions, right?
Certainly. But I must return to the village immediately. See you there.
Right, so let's hop to the village. The voice acting is okay, it's not great, but it's not bad. So, this is your companion, Lady Katarina, which you always have with you. She is a ghost that turns from human form to a flying serpent-like monster. She has skill points, and this is her talent tree. They're all passives by definition. You can also set her what she picks up, what kind of combat she does, what she targets, when she's sent to the store, what she buys, and so forth. She also has her own inventory and stuff that she wears, which is interesting. And she uses guns and weapons without actually using them. Anyways, this is probably the most useless part of the UI because it switches between your melee and ranged weapon. I'm not sure why you would have that as a separate UI, but it is. This is the combo part, which I haven't explored too much, but it lets you set up. These are like combos that you add to your main skill. So if I press the right buttons for it, it charges up your abilities when you use them once, which uses, if you see the yellow stuff behind there, it uses up the rage bar. Right. Let's get to that later. Here's the inventory. It looks exactly like you would expect an inventory to look like at this point. There's nothing fancy done about it. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it works well. It compares your stuff. It has tabs. Well, one tab when you unlock it. And it's not bad, but it's nothing new. This is a skill tree where you put skills in one ability. And when you're enough level, if you have 1 point in one ability, you can take the next one and you can add combos. It comes in ranged and melee version. And then there's the aura and tricks, excuse me. The auras are just passives that are there, and the tricks are healing and such, which is an extra ability on the side, like that. And I'm not sure why you would have this in the game when it could just be a regular skill bar. But it's there, and let's buy this as well. It's another passive. You can have 2 active at a time, and they can be leveled up. On second hand, let's not buy that right now. Then we have the perks on that side, which are also passives, but they only unlock when you reach a certain level of reputation, which you get from killing special monsters and doing quests. Confused yet? I was. Here's the journal, which is just completed an active quest, a map, which is a map, and achievements in the game, which does nothing. Right, so there's a lot of things going on in this UI, and I'm not a huge fan of it because it feels a little bit redundant. However, let's have a look at the options before we do anything else. The gameplay options have so much stuff, which is really exciting because I like seeing a lot of options rather than previous menus that I've been looking at, which had like one option, which was game hints on, game hints off. Thanks. So we can turn off bleed, and we can turn on automatic drinking and equipping the right equipment. The audio options, not so great. They're not bad. They give you various options. It's not just one master volume, at least. There's the video, which has brightness, gamma, saturation, all that stuff, which you wouldn't expect in a game at this point, especially not in a game. The quality level, which is standard right there, but here comes the advanced options, and this is a lot of options right there. We have HDR, we have high effects, we have anti-aliasing, and everything. Nice. Also controls rebindable keys, of course. So, let's talk about the UI a little bit. It's a little bit strange that you have active skills on left and right mouse button. These can be boosted up with like a little bit more damage or add a stun to it and so forth by pressing 1, 2, 3. And then we have the rage, as you see, the yellow, which uses that, and then the right button and left button, if you use magics, use the mana. And then we have the tricks down to the right, which is now the only thing I have right now is the heal, which is on a cooldown and doesn't use any. And then on the other side you have the potions, and between this you also switch between melee and ranged, and when you play it, it works, and it's quite smooth to play as it, because it's just, you use 1, 2, 3, Q, W, E, A, S, and D, essentially. Which isn't many buttons, and it's okay, it's better than having just this huge 12-button hotbar, but on the other hand, why do I have all these, and why weren't, for example, the tricks such as the healing just put in its skill tree instead? Why do I have to buy them on the side, and why are the auras also separate from this? I mean, I get that you only get to have 2, it's the new fad to only allow you to have certain things active at one time, and that's cool. However, I'm not sure they did it the right way. It's, again, there's nothing wrong with it, I just feel there's too much of it. Because there are 2 things I feel are important for a game. 1, it's fun to play. 2, it's easy to explain. If it's an action RPG, it shouldn't be advanced. Because it isn't. You use left mouse button and right mouse button to attack, and then you use hotbars essentially. But the hotbars are now obscured into various things. I would have loved to see some classes as well, but again, the game has gotten higher ratings. It's a good looking game by all standards. I mean, at least it's not an ugly game. And I think the main attraction to the game is that, first of all, it is a Diablo clone that does nothing wrong. And second, the story. I would hope, at least, and so far from what I've seen, the story seems very compelling. The setting is this steampunk-esque kind of thing, which is also very compelling, at least to me. So if you're not into the high fantasy kind of games that we've seen before, and Torchlight was a big thing for you, then this game is probably gonna be great for you. If you played Torchlight, weren't a big fan, you probably shouldn't be playing this either. If you haven't played Torchlight, or Torchlight 2 in particular, you should probably go look at that first, because it has mod support beyond belief. And there's not too much to be said about this game, so this is probably going to be a rather short video. It's a hack and slash, you kill everything in sight, you get quests, and you do the quests, you get rewards, you level up, you put out your points, and you become more powerful, which makes you kill more powerful things, and you unleash everything on bosses, and then you get big rewards. That's essentially it. I've been your host, Bunny. You've been the audience. Toodles!